Hello, I am Arman Khodaei. For those that are new to my videos, I am an adult on the autism spectrum. For 6 years now, I've been making videos. Over 500 of them are on YouTube. Check them out. I have been blogging, and I have been running a group for adults on the autism spectrum, adults with autism and Asperger's. So, let's talk about today's video, overcoming social barriers. For a lot of people on the spectrum, social barriers are prevalent. I think almost everybody who has autism, Asperger's, whatever, has intense social barriers, either out of shyness, anxiety, or just not knowing what to do socially, doing socially inappropriate things, saying socially inappropriate things. There are a tremendous amount of barriers that all of us on the autism spectrum face. So how do we overcome those barriers? It's a great question, and it's not an easy task. It takes time. But the thing to keep in mind is that if faking it till you make it, that's a part of it. Also thinking about, well, what does someone who I'm attracted to looks like? What about someone that has qualities that I appreciate? So think about that. What are qualities in a person that you appreciate? What is maybe a celebrity that you are compelled towards, or someone in real life that you're compelled towards, someone that you meet? Maybe someone is really bubbly, outgoing, and like, wow, that I'm very compelled towards that person. Or they have charisma, and you're like, wow, I find that very compelling. So think about those qualities, meditate on them, journal about it. Journal about what it would be like to have those qualities, and imagine yourself being outgoing. Daydream about it. When going to sleep, imagine yourself being more sociable. Now, having anxiety and being shy and all that definitely gets in the way of things. I'm not saying it isn't. It's a gradual process. At first, for me, when I really started to push myself, this was in high school, really. In high school, I really pushed myself socially. It drained me out of energy. I was so drained. I hated it. I hated how I was pushing myself, and it was just a lot of effort, and it really exhausted me. And so what I did, though, is I kept on faking it till I made it. I took a psychology class. I took interpersonal communication class. I used what I learned in that class. What I learned in that class was you have about 30 seconds to make a really great first impression, and within 3 minutes, someone forms pretty much a near permanent impression. So in those 30 seconds, you got to be outgoing, like, hi, how are you doing? My name is so and so, and shake their hand. Be outgoing, start asking them questions like, well, that's a nice shirt. Do you like such and such? Are you into movies? Blah, blah, blah. Be confident. Body, posture, body language. Having really good posture matters a lot too. Like if you're slouched and everything, or if you're really tight, looks like you're afraid, that is going to give off a certain vibe as well. So there's so many things to think about, and it is overwhelming to think about all of it, but you have to start somewhere. Work on it one day at a time. Go to those social, what did they call it? The Toastmasters. Go to Toastmasters. Work on public speaking. Act in a play. I think acting, is a great way, because acting is exaggerated. When you act, you exaggerate yourself. You exaggerate the body language. You exaggerate the tone of voice, and that over exaggeration can help you learn about social skills. Sometimes being on autism spectrum, we have to exaggerate to make a point, because more often than not we are so monotone, so our responses seem so emotionless, so robotic in a sense, like we're forced and scripted, that exaggeration can really help. And that's another thing. Don't try to learn a script. You see, conversations, I've learned, they're more like water. There's a flow to them. There isn't a one-size-fits-all script. yes, usually most introductions begin with a hi, how are you, but then within the next few seconds, there could be deviations. You find out that you guys like something, you guys don't like something, this person's different. There's a lot of things that can happen, and then you have to kind of go with the flow, which has taken me a very long time to learn. I still think that I face these robotic robotic type barriers where I have this scripted response, but I don't think I sound that scripted. But a lot of us on the autism spectrum do sound scripted. So how do you overcome these social barriers? Well, you have to push yourself. You have to want it. Number 2, you have to want it. If you don't want it, you're not going to get it, and it's going to take work. No pain, no gain, as they say. So if you don't work at it, if it's not hard, you're probably not going to get very far. I mean, maybe you can do it without it being hard, but I mean, there's so much, and to get honest feedback is probably going to be hard because you might say the right things, but then your body language might be off, or you might have improved body language, but then you might be saying the wrong things. There's so many variables. Buy books on dating. Dating books are great because even if you're not looking to date, they often talk about body language and presence and tone of voice and delivery, and a lot of these things can be applied in day-to-day life. Gaining charisma, etc. So overcoming social barriers, it's a decision, and I'm not saying it's easy. Some people are at a better place depending on where you're on the autism spectrum. If you're really impacted, some people on the autism spectrum, aren't just there's different ways that we're affected. Now, sometimes we our intelligence is impacted. Some of us are really smart. Some of us are not. There's comprehension things going on. There's theory of mind things going on. And I'm not saying this to be offensive. I'm just saying that this is how autism is. It affects people in different ways. So depending on where you're at, some of these things are going to be more easier or more challenging than for other people, which is the unfortunate truth. So I wish it were different. But so for some of you, it might not be so easy. For some of you, you're going to make small gains. Some of you are going to make great gains, depending on where you go. And I'm not saying this to try to be defeatist. I want everyone watching this video to be as successful as possible. I want everyone on the autism spectrum to live their life to the fullest. But with that said, I think time is running out for this video. So I thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, check out my videos. I have so many videos on social skills, on dating, on theory of mind, on all sorts of autism related things. I even have videos for parents out there wanting to learn about their child on the autism spectrum. So check out my videos. I thank you so much, and I wish all of you an awesome day of awesomeness. Please subscribe. Check out my website, empoweredautismnow.com. Thank you so much.